See Brown in your face.
Have you heard of Everything at Once?
Do you know about Everything at Once?
It's internationally known.
Aliens listen to it.
It's the best ever.
If there's something you're looking for in the 814, or feeling a little bored and think there ain't no more, check out Everything at Once and allow it to be your source. It's that raw podcast that's always showing support, highlighting the scene. No need to take I-90 to Peep or 79 to see how it be. Interviewing your locals with mindsets that are global. Innovators and creators on every single upload. So much going on in the EPA.
Incredible content.
Everything at Once will keep you up to date.
Amazing guests.
What you doing? Come through and hang with Tony and Dave.
Community driven.
Bringing everything at once from around the way. Everything at once from around the way. Hey.
Please listen. We love you. Everything at Once.
Everything at Once.
It's time to introduce this show.
The best show on the face of the planet.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. We want to thank our Patreon producers, Brian G., Josh W., Ian D., Nick G., and Sadie M.
Patreon, it's an awesome way to support the show and say thanks. You can become a Patreon supporter by clicking the link below and choosing to be an intern, assistant, or producer level supporter.
If being on the production team is too much pressure for you, you can also send any contributions using our Venmo at Everything at Once Studios. We now want to thank all the local businesses who supported this episode. These businesses get the Everything at Once stamp of approval and are critical members of the Everything at Once community. We couldn't do it without them. With winter approaching, are there any last-minute details that you want to change or renovate around your home?
I might, but you know who to call.
Yeah! Ghostbusters!
No, Tony. No, not Ghostbusters. Solid State Construction.
Oh, yeah. Solid State.
Yeah.
Duh. Solid State takes pride in all their home remodeling projects. Solid State specializes in bathroom remodeling, kitchen renovation, window and door installation, custom design work, and more, including painting, flooring, drywall, sidewalk, decks. Get your free quote today by calling Nick at 814-397-7854. Solid people, solid product, solid state construction.
You know, Tony, with all these renovations from Solid State, I think we might have kicked up some bad energy around here. Yeah, oh yeah. Luckily, we know just the people to go see.
I know it this time. It's Ghostbusters.
No, Tony! Our friends at Cauldron and Thorne.
Wow. I feel really dumb right now, and I can't believe I didn't think of Cauldron and Thorne, the world's largest witchcraft and metaphysical shop, with everything a person needs to channel the spirit world.
Practice some self-care.
Find enlightenment.
Curse your enemies.
Protect yourself from your enemies.
Bless your friends.
Cleanse your space from negative energies. You can check out all the magical wares available at for these different practices we all love and enjoy at Cauldron and Thorne, 2724 West 8th Street, or online at cauldronandthorne.com.
This week, we have an incredible guest for you.
Shawnta, thank you so much for coming down. Sacred Divine Feminine. We met up the road at the news station a while ago, and we decided that we were both in the news for cool stuff and wanted to hang out, and I wanted to learn more about you. I'm super excited you're here. Shawnta is a naturopathic doctor, and it sounds like, from what I understand, you're all about empowering the sacred divine feminine, from to use your namesake.
Well, actually, I'm a board certified doctor of natural medicine.
Medicine.
So if you're specializing in specifically natural medicine, you won't use the ND now. Now it's Doctor of Natural Medicine, DMN, but since I'm board certified, it's board certified.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's sister just got her. I can't tell you specifically what it is. I think she's a NMD, a naturopathic doctor, or NDM, naturopathic doctor of medicine. So I'm a little familiar. but I'm not super familiar. So can you explain to me a little bit about what separates you from a normal doctor?
So a naturopathic, I'm a board-certified holistic health practitioner. So we focus more on the root cause of your illness. We provide more natural recommendations as alternative medicine to pharmaceutical medicine, right? And so we look not just at the symptom, but we look at the root cause. So if we have a client who has diabetes, right? And we're not just giving them a pill that would lower their blood sugar, but we're actually looking at them holistically. So if someone comes to see me, we ask them to fill out an intake form, and that intake form includes their previous health condition, current health condition, and their goals. And so what I provide, I'll look through that, do some research, see what they're actually taking currently, making sure that none of the herbs kind of conflict with that, right? Because herbs are medicinal medicine. A lot of people don't realize.
I mean, all the medicines come from the earth, one way or the other.
Absolutely does. I mean, over 50% of pharmaceutical medicine that they have documented comes from herbs.
The earth, herbs,
comes from the earth. And so what I would do, look at the intake form, and from there I've put together a detailed recommendation plan that includes water intake, dietary, vitamins, minerals, spiritual and emotional support, body work. It's just a holistic approach. So if that person does have diabetes, we're looking at making sure their water intake is enough, wherever they're flushing out, those sugars. We're looking at the pancreas, which is going to secrete the insulin, right? And making sure we're making sure that the pancreas is healthy. And we know that that's a hormone. And so we're looking at their hypothalamus that actually secretes the hormone. It activates it to go to the pancreas and, secrete the insulin. And so we're going to treat the hypothalamus, giving a fish oil, making sure they're hydrated, healthy salts, those sorts of things, looking at their diet, looking at their exercise. We just take a holistic approach and get to the root cause naturally.
That sounds, to me, what you're saying sounds a lot like the Eastern versus Western medicinal approaches.
Which has been around for centuries.
Right, yeah. So in the West, we like to treat symptoms, and in the East, they like to treat the problem, the root problem, which is what it sounds like you're saying.
But don't get me wrong. There is a time and a place for
medicine,
absolutely. Surgeries. If someone comes to me with a broken arm, am I going to say, well, here's some turmeric for that information?
No, not. I totally get that. But what I'm trying to say is that I appreciate the approach of treating that root cause rather than the symptoms, because I think it's really easy to take a pill for a lot of situations that can probably be actually like remedied, you know what I mean, by that holistic approach.
And we help to encourage our clients, because it's taking your health and your body into your own hands. You're taking your power back. And a lot of people don't go the natural health route because they don't want to do the work. They're just saying, hurry up and fix this.
Right.
But if you put in the work, and if you have a holistic health practitioner like myself, it's going to encourage you and motivate you, provide affirmations, help build you up emotionally and holistically, and you have a good support system, you can actually, heal your body.
So it sounds like you're actually developing a relationship with your patients.
Oh, absolutely.
Rather than a 5-minute doctor visit once a year where they look at my blood panel and then send me on my way.
Right. Yeah. Our natural consultations are 90 minutes long. So that's an hour and a half. That's longer than this interview is going to be. And we really get down and, I talk about and learn about my clients' childhood and how they were brought up and, the trauma that they may have went through, because emotional and physical trauma, they kind of coincide a lot of times, because when we're stressed, our body's releasing cortisol, and that cortisol is affecting our body. And so we talk about just everything holistically.
That's amazing. It sounds like you're offering a tremendous service to your patients. And what in my head, medicine really should be, or your relationship with your health practitioner, whoever that may be, should be, is that kind of relationship where you're talking about more than just, the blood panels or the high blood pressure, the cholesterol, the diabetes, the whatever it is that is the concern,
Right. And it's a journey. When you talk about all those illnesses, you don't get there overnight. It's how you've treated your body, how you've handled stress, what you've ate, how much water you drink, how much you've exercised, and you can shift that. People, one thing as a natural health practitioner, we really don't believe in hereditary diseases when you talk about high blood pressure, diabetes, those sorts of things, because we believe in what we call epigenetics. And basically, in a nutshell, epigenetics is when your genes actually activate or they're actually laid dormant.
Sure.
So we have the ability, according to our lifestyle, to activate those diabetes genes,
right.
Or
let
it be dormant, and it's our lifestyle.
I think so. I'm going to go a little bit off the walls here and say that I am a big fan of the idea of genetic memory. I don't know if you're familiar with that idea at all, but it's
I've
like
heard
our
of it,
ancestral heritage coming through our genetics and impacting our current life, whether that's diabetes, whether that's anxiety, whether that's depression. You know
That's
what I mean?
epigenetics.
Exactly.
It is, yeah.
Except a much fancier name than what I'm calling it, ancestral memories or ancestral
but it is
genetics.
ancestral memories. I mean, I love that term, which you used as well. It's exactly the same thing. It's what has been passed down from generation to generation, and a lot of times it's learned. Grandma ate
Environment.
Exactly. Yeah, nature and nurture. A little bit of both there.
Absolutely. So do you work with men and women?
Yes. Yeah. So we provide natural consultations and recommendation plans for men, women, and children with an emphasis on women's health and birth doula services. Yeah. So it's the entire family. Mom usually comes first. She's in the lead for natural health, and then her children, and then it's usually last. It's usually the husband or the mate.
Do you have any, or would you hypothesize any reason why that is, that the women, like, naturally Sacred Divine Femininity, your namesake would attract, I think, a woman audience. But on a larger scale, it does seem that women are really on the forefront of natural medicine. You know what I mean?
Think we're nurturers naturally. We want to take care. We want to cultivate. We want to nourish and, all feed and make sure you're okay. That's just, that's how we were wired. You know what I mean? And so, I'm assessing myself and I'm assessing my husband all the time. Like, did you drink enough water today? Did you do this? Did you do that? So I think we kind of lead the path to that sacred divine femininity of nurturing our families.
Cool. So it's not really just it sounds like your name is more trying to embody that feminine nurturing health energy, that taking care of, and that natural genetic proclivity for women to be nurturing and to be focused on
and healing,
their family
too.
and healing and bring that all around.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool.
And then that women are, in a sense, sacred in a way, because we bring
women are
life
absolutely
into the
sacred.
world. We're bringing life into the
You
world
are a
as
portal.
the Creator does. We're definitely a portal, and that's sacred.
It's absolutely sacred, and I think that it's a good it's good that you're here, and it's good that you're doing what you're doing, because I feel like a lot of women lose touch with that sacredness, or there's a stigma around childbirth or being a woman or those kinds of things, whereas really it is a sacred experience to be a woman, to have that ability to bring life, a portal. You're closer to Creator, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, because you are in direct contact, bringing that new being into the world.
Right, yeah.
Then, whereas men don't really experience that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And just being a doula, I'm also a certified doula,
Right.
and just experiencing that side by side with a mother who's giving birth. It's a spiritual, physical, emotional experience all into one.
One of my strange life goals is to give birth to a child.
Would you like to become a doula? We're looking for doulas.
Really?
There's male doulas.
I would absolutely. We'll have to talk about that later. But that is like low key one of my goals in life, to be like in an emergency situation where I have to deliver a baby. I have I'm a weird person. I'm sorry.
There's even there's father doulas that we train.
Really?
Yeah, to help out, and then they work alongside me while their wife or significant other is giving birth.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really exciting, and it's very interesting. I'm sure it would be an experience to be able to do that. It was always more of a dream, but it feels like it's about to become reality someday, maybe. But why do you think that people prefer that kind of approach compared to the hospital approach?
The
Or
doula?
like, let me back this whole thing up. So, do you do like off topic, maybe not off topic, but
Home birth?
yeah, different kind. I'm looking for a good word to say different kinds of births than like traditional hospital births.
So I don't. I'm specifically in the hospital
Okay.
to lower the morbidity and mortality rate within the healthcare system. That's my role. However, I do have, I have friends of mine who live out of town who actually I would refer that type of birth to.
Okay. Do you have any dreams to do, or like any plans to do that in the future? Home births or water births
yeah,
or
it's
something
definitely
like
a
that?
possibility. Absolutely. The most closest I've come to that is helping a mother give birth or a woman give birth naturally, where there's no medication, there's no epidural, there's no pain medication. It's all
Tough
natural within the
ladies.
hospital. Very strong women.
It's amazing. I think it's really interesting that people are moving away from, that traditional hospital birth and going back to a more natural route at home, or water births in the pools. I know I have friends who have done home births, ladies that have done home births, and I feel like most of them are very happy with the experience. You
Yeah.
know?
And even in a hospital setting, like the way that I would set a room up, we can have things in the room like LED lights, LED candles, the lights around the room.
Of course,
we dim the
music.
lights. We have the music. Well, more like a nature sound or waterfalls, that sort of thing. Birds chirping. We really try to give the most natural experience that we can, and help them feel comfortable and at home, and let them know that this is natural. This is what your body's supposed to do, and
Right.
you're in a comfortable and a safe environment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really scary because it feel like, I would imagine if I was going through a birth, it would feel extremely unnatural. Not only because I'm a man, but like I'm imagining myself in a woman's body and giving birth. Like, this is something that especially for a first-time mother, something that they've
definitely.
never gone through before.
I'm coaching them the whole time, like holding their hand and saying, you can do this, you have this, your body's made to do this, breathe in the baby, blow out the pain,
Right.
Breathe in the fear, breathe out the fear, breathe in the faith,
Sure.
and literally coaching them, giving them affirmations, because they want the baby to birth and come out, but once the time comes, it's like,
oh my God, yeah,
keep
this
it in.
is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting process to go through, I think, to look at it from like a psychological perspective. You know what I mean? Your body's going through a tremendous amount of pain to give birth to this being that you've worked hard for, you know what I mean, that you've
Right.
built a life for, to support, you know what I mean, or have and put all this time in to kind of reach this culmination point, this high level of security and safety in your own life, to bring this new life into, and to finally get there and have to go through this immense amount of pain for this reward of like the culmination of your being.
But it's like the pain is automatically gone once the mother gives birth and
Right.
she's holding the baby.
And
it's, like,
it's not all
worth
about
it,
pain either,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's about bringing that new life in there, but it's just an interesting perspective on it that is something that's, you know, difficult and challenging and scary and uncomfortable in order to get to this point where the child is born.
Yeah, and that's the story of life, isn't it? Sometimes, you know, we have to
Absolutely.
go through trials and tribulations to birth our missions, to birth our purpose. You know, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you know, you're going to go through some labor pains.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to be busy and things are going to hurt and it's going to be uncomfortable. And a lot of things all kind of tied together. The longer I'm alive, the more I realize that everything is kind of the same. You know what I mean? It's always there's going to be challenges, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be hurdles, whatever it is in the world. And eventually, if you are persistent and willing and have the drive and the determination, you will reach the goal. You know what I mean? Whatever that thing is. And you kind of just
can't give
repeat
up.
that your
you
whole
have to
life.
keep going. Yeah, you can't give up. Yeah, never throw in the towel.
Never throw in the towel. Keep going. Given enough time and energy, the probability of anything happening becomes absolute.
Definitely.
And
Faith.
finding spirit, finding whatever that is, whatever that means to you, can also be really rewarding as well. It sounds like that's also a big part of your healing practice is staying in touch with spirit.
Oh, yeah.
And that divine feminine energy.
Definitely. This whole purpose and mission was birthed through my spiritual healing. Should I tell you?
Yeah, how did you get into it?
Where do I start? So, grew up in the inner city of Erie. Come from a single parent home. My parents were actually married until I was 5 years old. My mother was a entrepreneur. She was a modeling guru here in Erie. She used to host the Bridal Elegance shows at the Mill
really?
Creek Mall. And
Yeah, I
she
remember
hosts
those.
fashion shows. This was early 80s, late 70s. So, you know, she was doing
A
her
little
thing.
bit before my time, but I do remember like those bridal elegance things going at the mall.
Yeah.
People told me I should go to them because I'm a photographer now and I could.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the wedding things are a big thing, but that's it for future years, future projects. But I'm sorry, continue.
It's all right. So, so she was a model. My father, he worked in construction and they didn't get along, you know, and there was some emotional, physical abuse there. So my mother got a divorce, and she and I moved out into the housing projects in the Franklin Terrace. Now, this was the late 80s, early 90s. And do you know what pandemic was going on around that
AIDS.
time? Epidemic. What about drugs?
Heroin, crack.
Crack, yes. So she tried it, did not thinking that she was going to get addicted to it because it was just
Nobody
like
ever does.
any drug, right?
Right.
You know, let me try this, you know. And
Yeah.
as soon as she tried it, she was hooked. And, you know, life kind of dwindled down from there. If you ever watch the show, if you ever watch Snowfall, it shows the perfect depiction of what crack cocaine did, because you would think, you know, people who were addicted, they were just like bums on the street, and now you see them, you know, they're a crackhead or whatever. But
I actually used to work in the recovery field for a long time, so I'm intimately familiar with the struggles that people go to, and it's never just the crackhead or the bum that lives under the bridge. There's always a story somewhere behind that.
Right.
They
With
weren't
Snowfall,
always
they were
there.
like, you know, college, young ladies going to college and are on the dean's list, and then they try it, and then they're struggling on the street.
Right.
So it was really hard for me. I had two younger siblings that I helped raise during that time, and I was always fighting, getting into trouble. Had a bad temper just because everything that was going on.
Sure.
And to make a long story short, there were 3 girls who wanted to jump me, so I decided to take a meat cleaver to school to defend myself.
Oh, man, wow.
Yeah.
And look at you now, dude.
18 years teaching in the Erie Public School. Yeah, teaching girls the school I got kicked out of, right? Expelled from.
Amazing. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be able to give back and do the work that I do with nurturing hearts. But in that, getting expelled, I had to go to a private Catholic reform school and didn't really know my full potential because I hadn't given myself a chance. You know, how many of us never give ourselves a chance or actually believe in ourselves or have someone else to believe in us? And that's what I teach the girls in Nurturing Hearts, how to believe in themselves. And so there were teachers, mentors that took me, coached me, and I found out I was a straight A student. I went to school early, stayed late, got straight A's, went back to school, graduated co-valedictorian of my senior class.
Look at you go, yeah.
And then I double majored in criminal justice and psychology again. And so I had a path for my life. I was on the dean's list, and then the girl interrupted happened. I was interrupted. I was drugged, and I was up for about 3 days, and I had a severe nervous breakdown.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I'm not talking about the breakdown where, you take off from work for a day or two. Full-fledged breakdown. I'm in the hospital. Didn't remember what my name was. It was horrible. I was there for about 3 weeks. When I got out, the doctor told me I would need to be on disability. I couldn't work again, so I got on disability. I was given $500 a month for disability, a 1-bedroom apartment in the projects, and that was supposed to have been my destiny.
No thanks.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No way. But at first it was like,
that was it.
That was it. That was throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
I tried to go to school. I tried to do the right thing, and this was destined to be, I thought. But as I spent time in that 1-bedroom apartment, that's where my spiritual healing came about. I began first to forgive. I think forgiveness is a really important part of our healing journey as people who are designed to love, right? No matter what that looks like for you. But I forgave my mother for what she did. I forgave my father. From there, I prayed that I would be healed and, delivered from what had happened. And I prayed to God to bless me to be a blessing. And that's when Nurturing Hearts came into my spirit. I was thinking about money. I'm thinking about, well, bless me with some money so I can help, who needs to be helped and do the things I need to do. But it came in the form of a mission. I was still on medication at the time, probably about 3 medications. And I said, this is a mission. I have to help girls who are suffering like I was. I don't want them to go through this. And I'm talking and going in front of city council on anxiety meds that weren't really working that well. My legs shaking. I'm trying to plead my case. I'm holding my paper. And I pushed through that because I knew there was a greater mission and it was bigger than me. And what I had went through was only for me to go through in order to be able to help other people on their journey. And that's the mentality that I had. And so as that journey continued, I wrote a book. I told God that I would share.
This book?
Yes, Hell Bent, Heaven Bound. I said I would share my testimony to the world. And I wanted to get off the medication. By the time the book was written and published, that was my prayer. And so I wrote it. It was published. Les Brown wrote the foreword, one of the best motivational speakers in our time. Vicki Winans wrote a foreword inside of the book, and I traveled all across the country on a book tour. Yeah, I was on the Word Network and TBN, 700 Club, sharing my testimony. And then I took the journey in natural health. And so I was taking, like I said, 3 meds, and I said, I really want to heal. And so what I discovered was that over 90% of serotonin is secreted from our gut. We're thinking it's secreted from our brain.
I did my capstone project in college, my capstone research project about this, the brain-gut biome, or connection.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And so when I discovered that, I became a pescatarian, which is a vegetarian that eats seafood. I continued studying natural health. I started eating brain foods like omega-3 fatty acids. Yep.
Probiotics, prebiotics.
Yep. Yeah. Yogurt, all those things, digestive enzymes, and changing my diet. Still praying, still believing, still having faith. And I went from 3 medications to 2 medications to 1 medication to a half a pill, to a crumb a pill, because I was scared that crumb was doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
And then I had a wonderful doctor too. That's why, I am a board certified holistic health practitioner in natural medicine. But if you have a good doctor too, who believes in holistic healing, who believes in natural healing and, going through the journey of taking control of your life. And I was fortunate to have a doctor who actually believed in me and believed in the journey of natural healing. And while I was weaning off of those meds, he was there to support me and encourage me and kind of say, hey, you doing okay? How's everything going?
Amazing.
And eventually I was off and I said, you know what? I want to help and empower other people, other women who are struggling with mental health, who's struggling with natural health, not knowing how to eat properly, maybe taking a lot of different medications and don't realize or know that there's herbs out there, and herbs are medicinal, have medicinal properties in them and medicinal medicine.
Yeah.
And so that's when I went back to school, got my board certified holistic health practitioner certification, and then from there I had 3 case studies, and then from there I went back for my board certified doctor of natural medicine. I took my board, which was very stressful. I ended up getting shingles.
Oh no!
I'm not even 50.
It's crazy.
I wasn't even 45.
Oh.
So
No way, you're not that old.
I will not tell my age. You'll have to look it up
Right.
and calculate it.
I won't. I'll let the illusion live because I don't think you're that old.
Well, I am grateful to be able to look like I look at my age.
Yeah, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
It's a very, very true statement that people don't think, realize.
From your cells.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a cellular level, you are what you eat. We
100%.
shed off our cells from our body, not just our skin, but we get new brain cells and heart cells and organ cells. And depending on what you eat, that's what it's being made up of.
Do you want to be a McDonald's cheeseburger or do you want to be farm-grown, local, organic vegetables and meats?
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it makes such a big difference. And I think it's silly if people don't think that makes a difference.
And they don't have the education.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's what I'm
part
here
of what you
for.
hear.
Yeah, definitely. Because we're not just telling you what to do, but that hour and a half is actually sitting down and explaining things to you so that you can understand it and actually know, you got here from a lifestyle of making the wrong choices and you have life left, God willing to have time to correct those mistakes that you've made.
Right. And health is very much a process. And I think that what people are starting to realize now more than ever is that an ounce of prevention goes further than 5 pounds of after whatever we want to call afterward treatment.
Mm-hmm. So important.
Yeah.
So
and
important.
we don't end up here all at once. Unlike my name, usually I like to try to tie everything at once into everything, but we don't end up in our medical state or in our physical state all at once.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It's a journey and it's a practice, and we are what we eat, and it takes time. The one thing that I want to go back to a little bit is your doctor supporting you through this journey. And I feel like maybe I have a bad impression of the medical field through my own personal experiences and other experiences that I've seen other people go through. But I feel like it was very brave of him to encourage you to, stop taking medication and to work through this process and to not just take the pills and to support you through like changing your diet and your eating habits and the other things that you were going on to heal rather than,
Well, he didn't encourage me. I wouldn't say that. I think he more so supported me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And believed in you.
Absolutely.
And your ability to do it and your body's ability to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Which is also...
It's very rare.
It's very rare. Mm-hmm. It's very rare. And I think that people underestimate the power of our bodies often. Not only by like our ability, like we have the ability to give birth and to create life. Mm-hmm. We have the ability to heal from pretty serious things on our own. Like, no doubt, you got a broken arm, you need a kidney transplant or whatever it is that's going on.
Right, there's exceptions.
There is exceptions, but it can get pretty bad, and our body can still recover from so much. You know what I mean? If we let it, and we give it those things that it needs that are found, you know, on the earth, in plants, in food, in medicine.
Water, fresh air, sunlight.
100%.
Yeah. Prevention is key.
The Lakota people call water the first medicine.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and,
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first thing you do. Like, you got a headache, you're feeling, you know, stressed out, whatever, drink some water.
Yeah. Hydration is everything. I mean, it helps with our bowel movements. It helps our blood circulate. You know, it lowers our blood sugar. It helps with inflammation.
Right.
You know, so many things.
Just with water and drinking enough of it.
Yeah. I recommend drinking half your body weight in ounces. That's a daily recommendation of water.
That's a pretty reasonable amount.
Yeah. And then, you know, when you look at your urine, it shouldn't be too yellow. You know, it shouldn't be 100% clear either, because we don't want to flush out our electrolytes out of our body too.
Exactly.
You know, too much of anything can be harmful for you. So if it's like a straw color, like a broom, like a straw color, then that's a healthy amount of water that you're drinking a day.
So what does your dietary practice and water practice look like today? Do you drink other things other than water?
Yes, I drink tea. Okay. So I like different teas. Water. I will have some fresh lemonade.
Nice.
When I have that little sugar craving a little bit. But as far as pops and soda and
energy drinks,
no, I don't like energy drinks at all. No.
What about your food intake? Are you still a pescatarian?
I am. Yep, still a pescatarian. And with that, I want to say every diet has its pros and cons, because you know, we're thinking about mercury when we're just eating fish. We don't want to eat too much fish, right? And then if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you have to make sure you get enough protein.
And your B vitamins.
Which helps to detox your liver.
Right.
It's so important. A lot of people don't
get the B vitamins. Yeah, they miss that. And iron.
Good job knowing that.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to say I'm just really interested in tons of different things. So it's benefited me in enormous ways all around the gambit. But yeah, I like to. I'm very happy that you gave those answers, not just because like that's great for you, but I really appreciate people that practice what they preach. Yeah. And I think that's so important. Like, I don't want my doctor or my health practitioner telling me to do stuff that they're not doing themselves. You know what I mean?
Once I got my board certification, I stopped drinking. So I used to like to buy a bottle of wine every now and then and, you know, drink some wine after a hard day's work, right? Like most of us do. Sure. And after doing so much research and studying how it affects the body, even the central nervous system, you know, your nerve functions, your liver, so many different things. Once I became a pescatarian, though, I will say this, and I had a glass of wine or 2 glasses, my nose would immediately get stuffed up. I could, because my body was so clean. Immediately after I drank the wine, I would experience inflammation. Right. Now, I'm not telling anybody to quit drinking, of course, if unless you're drinking too much. Right. You know, you can do it in moderation. But for my journey, as a natural health practitioner, you know, and knowing what it does to the body, especially as you get older, you know, you just can't live the lifestyle you lived when you were 21. Yeah. A lot of us already know that if we, you know, drank a little bit too much at 30, that hangover at 30 is a little bit different than hangovers at 22. So your body's telling you that it's changing. You need to make those adjustments. So, you know, with each 10 years of my life, I would say from 30 to my age now, right? I've made a change. And so in this transition, it was letting go of the wine, which was challenging.
I stopped drinking. I've been clean almost 9 years in October.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So no alcohol, no mind, no mood altering substances.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that other than that, most of my changes are pretty temporary. I like to do this thing called a perfect week, and well, usually it's perfect weeks where I do one thing perfect a week. Okay. Because I I love soda. I love sugary drinks. I love garbage food. But for a week, I will do usually New Year's, I'll go until I can't go anymore. I'll do a week of something perfectly. So I'll only drink water for a week. No soda, no juice, no anything.
Okay.
And then I'll do yoga every day for a week, or I'll go to the gym every day for a week, or I'll do something that generally benefits me.
That's moderation at its best there.
It's moderation at its, but it's only for a week. Okay. That's the tricky part. Or that's the part that makes it almost not inconsequential, because I feel like I benefit tremendously from the self-discipline.
You can feel it in your body. Like you probably have more energy. You think more clear, especially with the water, drinking water all week.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. By the end of my Perfect Week series, I'm probably at like peak levels of my personal performance. You know what I mean? But they only last a week, and more than anything, I feel very disciplined and empowered because I have something that I like and I enjoy, and I took it away for a little bit to show that myself that I could do it, to practice that discipline. Yeah, good. To take that control and to enjoy the suffering and build the tolerance towards that uncomfortability, which I think has a lot to do with a lot of mental health stuff. It's really, to me, it's building tolerance. It's building the ability to withstand my anxiety, to withstand my depression, to continue through it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel those things. Yeah. It's awful. It sucks.
And recognizing it too. Anxiety and depression, it's easier to cope with when you can identify it and recognize it and call a thing. You can call it what it is. I'm having a panic attack, I'm having an anxiety attack, and being able to push through it. The students that I have in Nurturing Hearts, some of them experience that. This last class that we had, our middle school class, one of the young ladies, we do what we call an energy circle. And so it's letting go of all the negative energy and bringing all the positive energy in. So we let it go. I'll point, and I'll say, you can say release if you don't want to share it. But if you want to share it, you say what it is you want to release. Fear, and they'll say fear, anxiety, pain, tiredness, whatever it is. Sure. And so one of my students was suffering with anxiety, and she didn't want to participate. And I said, I don't force any of my students to participate. I know what anxiety feels like. I said, okay, we'll pass. Well, maybe next time you'll feel more comfortable. And so the next time, no. The third time, yeah, kind of, but no. And so the fourth time, she started to open up, and she participated. And I told her, I said, I know what you're feeling, and I know what it's called, because she shared it with the whole, group. She said, well, I have anxiety. I said, I know what that feels like. I was like, but if you identify it, I said, and then you just try to push through it, you can push through it. It doesn't own you, it doesn't have you, you have it, right? Right. And so as the classes went on and the weeks progressed, she began to participate more. And I can still see in her face that she was still kind of struggling with it, but she was pushing through. And that feeling, her learning how to do that, is going to take her so far. And Absolutely. It was so I felt so
Sounds
gratified.
Beautiful.
Oh, it was wonderful to experience, because that's what the program is here for. We're here to help girls,
Can you tell me a little bit more about Nurturing Hearts?
So Nurturing Hearts is a self-esteem and self-development nonprofit organization for at-risk girls. So about 90% of the girls that we work with have been physically, mentally, emotionally, some of them even sexually abused, growing up in single-parent homes and in foster care units. And so what we've been providing for over 18 years now are programs, 6-month programs, and two-day workshops that focus on positive self-esteem, positive thinking, healthy lifestyle choices, leadership skills, etiquette, drug and alcohol prevention. This year, we've brought on 4 therapists as an extension.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they actually are going to start in February, but they're also going to be part of our Big Sister panel, or Big Sister panel counseling with love, is what we're calling it, because we want our students and the families to get to know the therapists and counselors that they're going to be working with. And we've been fortunate enough to bring a team of counselors on who are willing to share their own struggles, and some of the things that they had to overcome and why they do the work that they do. And I think that's important, especially in this day and age where we have a lot of mental health stigma. It helps, and it's comforting to know that those people that are there to help you are genuinely there.
Right.
To
and
help
they're
you.
not, it's building that tolerance again for the uncomfortability of facing that and seeing that like this doesn't have to be scary. You know what I mean? This
Right.
doesn't have to be something that is embarrassing or shameful for me or my family. This is something that's good. This is something that helps us
I
grow.
ran into one of my students' parents at the post office before I got here, actually, and I was telling her about the counseling service, and she looked at me and she said, "We need that." And I said, I was like, I don't know if we need to say we need it, but we definitely deserve it.
Right.
We definitely deserve that. We deserve to have someone to talk to have someone to listen, to have someone give good advice. For such a long time, a lot of us have just given of ourselves, taking care of our parents, taking care of children, worrying and not knowing how to cope with that worry, not knowing how to cope with that stress. So you just don't need it. You deserve it. And that's empowering. It's about time. We deserve to heal. If you've ever been through anything, you don't just need it, but you deserve it. You owe it to yourself.
Treat yourself.
Absolutely.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, make the most of it. And it's really easy to find those types of distractions out there. And I love distractions, especially when I'm going through anything. That's like how I get through it a lot of the times is because we all need breaks.
Yes.
We all need reprieves.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I can't just sit in my feelings all the time and work through them. I need to go out and be with friends. I need to go to the gym. I need to zone out and play video games or watch TV or read or whatever it is that I'm into at that given time. And having that time. But the important part, I think, is having that time available to talk with somebody, to work through those feelings, to progress, to see, is this really what's going on here? And like you said earlier in the beginning, is this thing that currently has me upset really what's going on? Or is this the repetition of a pattern in this same situation that's been going on for my whole life?
Right. Yeah, that needs to be seen, and we need to admit and be honest with ourselves and then address it, and maybe sometimes ask for help and support if we don't know which route to take, right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of things out there that are tremendously cathartic and beneficial that, like, I had no idea were really things until, I got involved in mental health and was going through my own mental health and substance abuse journey. Like, there's stuff I can actually do to help let go or to help work through these feelings instead of,
trying to hoard them and trying to internalize it.
Laying in bed and staring at walls and doing whatever else it is, just generally feeling sorry for myself and feeling useless.
Right.
And, it's that education part, you know what I mean? It's about learning. It's about figuring out how to process and working through that. And there's people out there that are experts, you know what I mean? That know how to do that and bring that stuff to the table for you. I think it's great. It sounds awesome. How old are the girls that are coming?
Between the ages of 10 through 18. So we're in about 7 different schools now. We have grade school, middle school, and high school students.
So multiple classes, or do you break them up into ages?
So multiple classes. So yeah, we'll have say if we have a grade school, we may have that class on Thursdays for an hour. Maybe another grade school will have it on Tuesdays for an hour. Okay. Middle school, so
and then
forth.
High school, a different day. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Or we might have like Thursdays. We have about 5 programs that whole day. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Do you guys have like a physical location, or are you doing this at schools?
We're doing it at schools. So we actually come to you and facilitate the program. Yeah, now our Beautiful Girls Workshop this year, it's going to be October 17th and 18th, Thursday and Friday at Gannon University. So this is our 13th annual Beautiful Girls Workshop we're going to be hosting. And we usually have about 100 to 150 girls show up at the event, all the way from City of Erie to Erie County. And it's a 2-day event. We have motivational speakers. We have our Big Sister counseling panel I was telling you about. We have our father figure panel. We have Zumba workout sessions. We have vision boards we're doing this year. We have canvas painting. Taco Bell is one of our sponsors. Shout out to Taco Bell.
Cool, good for them. Yeah, thank you, Taco Bell.
Yeah, shout out to E. No longer EMTA. They actually provide transportation
E.
to some of the students. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So that's something that we do where the students actually come to us.
Yeah, I mean, that can be a huge barrier for tons of people.
Yeah.
So it's great to have that support from
Great
them.
community support. Yeah, we love Erie. Erie loves us.
Awesome. Do you know the ladies from corporate class?
Corporate class, Leah Thickpen and Heather.
Yeah,
Morris.
they were on
Leah
the show a
Thickpen
long
is
time
my
ago.
cousin. She's my
Oh,
first
no
cousin.
way.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah, I was just wondering because it sounds like you guys are kind of on the same wavelength as far as like empowering these people and helping people grow and work through their
I think it would be a good transition
mentorship.
because we have our young ladies who are graduating from Nurturing Hearts, especially our seniors, that could go into corporate class and learn some professional skills. So that's something that may be on the radar soon. I'm gonna have to make that connection.
I'm making I'm helping manifest by bringing that out and picking up on that for you.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's awesome. They were on the show a long time ago. One of our early, like, maybe not our first, but probably first, like, 50 people that came on. And,
How many guests have you had so far?
We're on, like, episode 108.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, we've been going a while now. They say if a business lasts 3 years, it will last forever.
Yes, and that's why I was so happy and on my knees when Sacred Divine Femininity lasted
3 years. Yeah, amazing. How long have you been doing this?
Natural health.
Sacred Divine Femininity and Sacred
Divine Femininity, we have a natural health practice on Richmond Street, 4906 Richmond. We've been open for about 3 years now. We just hit our 3-year mark. Thank you. And Nurturing Hearts, a little over 18 years now.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I am always so astounded that there are so many good, interesting, beneficial things going on in our city that I've like just never heard of. You know what I mean? It's just it's eye-opening, and it fills me with joy to know that there are good things out there. There's so, like, not only are there all the good things that I do know about, that I do see that we've had guests on come talk about all that stuff, but there's all of these other things that I have no idea
but
even
just
exist
think of
yet.
all the great work that you're doing. You know, if you didn't know about all these special people and organizations, a lot of other people didn't either. And so you are shining the light on
I
us.
appreciate
and what
that.
a blessing that is.
I appreciate that. And that was all part of the goal when we started this almost 2 years ago, was to help. At first, my thought was like egotistical. I'm going to build a community. And it's like, no, I'm not going to build a community. I'm going to join and be part of the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is much more beneficial and much greater than than anything else that we could be doing with our time.
Our missions are bigger than us.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And finding that mission, I think, is such a big challenge and at the same time so rewarding. You know what I mean? Especially today with youth. Or at least I can speak to my own experience because I don't really spend a lot of time with youth. But I had no idea what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I thought I knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
But
we all have the answer in kindergarten.
Well, not even in kindergarten, but like in high school, I was like, I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to build robots. I'm going to do like all of this stuff. And then it was just a complete different turn or avenue that I ended up going on. You know what I mean? And I don't think that would have happened if I wasn't open-minded enough at some point to realize that I didn't know everything like I thought I did.
So was it kind of like a peer pressure thing where, you know, go into this field because it's going to make you the most money?
No, well, I was president of the robotics team at Magickal.
Oh yeah, you had
so,
to go.
Like, I had to go. Yeah, I was learning Chinese, and like I took 4 years of Mandarin there. My grandpa, who is an engineer, was an engineer, just got back from a trip to China, and I'm learning Chinese, and I'm president of the robotics team, and I'm on the speech and debate team, and I'm all these things. Like going to college and becoming an engineer was really like the super obvious choice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it ended up not being, you know what I mean? I'm not an engineer. I don't think I could have been an engineer, but I'm grateful that purposes change, you know what I mean? And we don't have to, if one thing doesn't work, we have that opportunity to grow and to change and to be flexible and to be malleable and learn new things. And I think that spending time with these young women and helping empower them and teaching them and helping people when their brains are most malleable and most flexible and most able to be influenced and turned or changed for into a positive direction when they may be going through something difficult or something challenging is very beautiful. And I appreciate what you did.
Thank you.
Or what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
It's amazing.
Yeah. We try to hit every area and every grade. And to me, it's very important because, when I got kicked out of school, I was 16 years old. And someone could have said, well, you know what? Throw her away. She's a lost cause.
Right.
If she's not in 5th grade where you're more able to rehabilitate her, then, just let her go. But there was actually someone that believed in me in my older age too. They saw something in me that saw that I was built, was dealt a bad hand, and I was trying my best by myself and was able to take me and coach me along and help me in that way. And so this is why, we started off when we first had our mission, we started with the younger girls, but I was immediately convicted, like, wait a minute, how dare you?
How does this happen?
Like, how could you not, go into the older population because they have the ability to change as well.
For sure.
If we nurture them and give them love and tell them that we believe in them.
No one's a lost cause.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Not with this support and love and guidance. Yeah.
I mean, you see people making tremendous changes at older ages. At least working in the substance abuse field.
How long did you do that?
About 5 years. 3 years on the ground, like front lines, inpatient rehab. 2 years doing case management. Rehab? I worked at at a rehab.
Oh wow.
Co-occurring facilities, so mental health and substance abuse stuff, and tons of people. Recovery rates it's really hard to say tons of people because I know statistically that most people do not get it. Unfortunately, it is the sad reality of substance abuse treatment that maybe 10% of the people will stay clean for longer than a year. But those 10% could be anybody from somebody that's 18, 19 years old to somebody 40, 50 years old that's been living this way their whole life, in and out of jail, ruining relationships, hurting people, hurting themselves. And it just takes that inner motivation to want something better for yourself. And I think realizing that you are, like you said, you deserve better and you can treat yourself better and you have agency. You're not just a thing or a number or statistic that just gets thrown away behind a jail cell that nobody cares about. You know what I mean? You have to care about yourself enough to be able to make that change.
Right, yeah. And I've seen so many miracles too. Not just a miracle in my life, but even in my mom's life. Eventually she did become clean, but I saw how other people were affected to that drug as well. One man was leaving our house one day and he collapsed on the stairs and had a full-blown heart attack and died. I've seen people quit, and then a month later they die. You know what I mean? And it's just, I commend my mom. She's a very strong woman from what she has went through, and she's been had the ability to overcome. So
it's amazing to see people that are able to change for the better. Everybody loves an underdog story, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody loves an underdog story, and addicts, alcoholics, all those people with substance use disorder are underdogs, you know what I mean? And I'm really happy that those stories exist and that people do well. And what you're saying also reminds me that, like, nobody's promised tomorrow. We have today. Make the most out of it. Utilize it. Enjoy it. And
forgive. Appreciate each other.
Yeah.
You know.
Take joy in the small things. Enjoy the little things. And enjoy the daily ritual. Yeah. It's not the daily grind. It is the daily ritual. Because when we ritualize things, they become sacred. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when things are sacred, we are closer to spirit and closer to everybody around us, I think.
I hear you.
Well, I think this has been a
wow,
fantastic
it's been
conversation.
An hour already?
Yeah, it's been it's been an hour, and it's been very enjoyable. I hope everybody out there enjoyed it. Yeah. Can you tell everybody where to find you if they want to get in contact with you, follow you on social media, all that stuff?
Sacred Divine Femininity. Again, we're a natural health and wellness and birth doula practice located here in Erie, 4906 Richmond Street. Sacred Divine Femininity, you can follow us on Instagram. We also have a website, sacreddivinefemininity.com. We also accept HSA and FSA accounts. We're also the only certified birth doula organization that accepts Greisinger insurance and TRICARE military insurance as well.
Wow, great.
Yeah. If you want a consultation or looking for a birth doula or natural alternatives, just give us a call, 814-299-9550. And then for Nurturing Hearts, our self-esteem and self-development organization for girls, our Beautiful Girls Workshop's coming up, 13th annual. It's going to be October 17th and 18th. Yay! If you're interested in registering your daughter, registration opens next week. Just follow our Facebook page at Nurturing Hearts. And you can also give us a call at 814-460-5954.
Amazing.
You.
Hey, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blessing.
Absolutely.
I have to come back again and spend some time.
For sure. Many more. Cheers to that. And thanks to all you guys for listening today. Thanks to all our sponsors. Y'all make it possible. Hit all those likes, subscribe, follows on our stuff. Go check out Shawnta. Like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. Click all the buttons. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. And peace. Oh, yeah. Check out the book, too. Check out the book. Here it is, one last time. Get it. Good night, everybody. Bye.